workshop for you today. If I can figure out how to share my screen, I will do it. It worked wonderfully when we were going through and doing it in practice this morning, but let's see if I can get it to show up right now. I think I just did it pop up, Josh? I don't know if am I. There we go. Okay, cool. So we sometimes it's fun when things work like they're supposed to. So renting versus owning. We hear a lot of folks right now, especially some of the media, that are out there saying, hey, you know something? Why don't you just go and rent a house? It's cheaper. But is it really? So let's talk about that. What I've done here is I took a house, and I know that we are in Orange. I'm broadcasting from Orange County. Orange County, San Diego County, LA County. You're looking at over $1 million is the median home price. Riverside, San Bernardino, you're a little bit lower. So I just took an $800,000 number. Not for any reason other than that's what I did. So I looked at an $800,000 number, and for the similar property, you're probably looking at about $3,900 in rent. So what did we do there? Let's take a look and see what some of these numbers look like. And we're going to take a look at payment to start with. So when we look at the rental side, we're looking at about $3,925. You got to have insurance regardless. Now we take that $800,000. And again, a lot of the numbers I'm going to tell you, I don't know whether they're going to pertain to you or not, because I don't know your situation. I'm going to also tell you that there are some options that will save you money. And then the interest rates I took, I just grabbed some numbers from last Friday that were very, very generic numbers. You may be able to do better than that if you call the team. Conventional loan on a purchase price of $800,000 or FHA at $800,000. I don't give you just half numbers. I tell you the property taxes, the insurance that we estimate, and what the mortgage insurance would look like on everything. So if you look at all these different numbers, it's pretty simple that we're looking at, and I'm going to I'm going to uncolor these things. Rent, we talked about that, $3,925. That $800,000 conventional loan using a interest rate in there. And what did I use for an interest rate? 6.75. We just kind of grabbed Friday's numbers. That'd be a 7.133 APR. You're looking at a $58.49 payment. That's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Remember that insurance and taxes alone are about $1,000 a month, just on the taxes, insurance. Okay, so let's go back and look at these numbers. If we go with the FHA, now I think when Josh gave us the FHA number earlier, it was lower than what I put in here at 6.5%. I think that was maybe it is 6.5. But that one there, 7.289 is the APR on that one. Now, when you're going FHA, we can actually go with a smaller down payment. So what did we do here? We just went with a 3.5% down payment. Now, when we look at 3.5% down payment, we're looking at a higher payment because we've got a larger loan amount. So we've got $58.49, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance. On the FHA, we've got a $63.17. You say, Ron, look at those numbers. They're way above the rent number. Okay, but are they? Are they better for you? Which way is more efficient to you? Because we're looking at all of these different numbers, and I don't know why we didn't take the points out on that one. We should have had the point. Should be no points. So let me see if I can just modify that real quick for you and get rid of the points, because one thing that we really like to do is right now in the environment that we're in, there's not a lot of good reason for us to be paying points. Now, if you can get the seller to give you a buy down, great. That is a beautiful strategy. But right now, I'm suggesting to people, don't pay points. Why would I say don't pay points in this market? Well, the fact of the matter is that interest rates will probably be lower in the not too distant future. Why do I say that they'll be lower in the not too distant future? Well, I've got 100% certainty that we're going to have a new Fed chairman May of next year or thereabouts. Because the current Fed chair, his term expires. So if his term is expiring, then we're going to have a new one. The only reason I say that, the only reason I'm hedging is because we don't know if they'll be confirmed by that time. So if they're not confirmed, then it could be that we don't have a new Fed chair by that time. But it'll be very soon thereafter if we don't. So when we look at this 800,000 with these 720,000, if my screen will populate here, we'll be able to get this number corrected. We don't want to have points in a market like this. So I'm going to change that in here so that it populates correctly, and it should correct on our screen here in just a second so that we have the right numbers. So what I want you to see here is that your payment is going to be significantly different than what it really shows when we look at everything. So let's go and take a look at more info and take a look at our closing costs. Closing costs right here. So you can see the cash to close. Yes, you need some money to buy. That's 86,000 is our cash to close on the conventional loan. Get help from mom and dad. Or you can wonder why this is not. Okay, well, it's for some reason it's 33.5 is our cash to close on the FHA. Now, our friends at the lending team have some options for you to get down payment assistance that can bring that probably down to about $20,000, maybe a little less. But just think about some of these things. $800,000 home and you're at $20,000 as your down payment, you might be looking pretty good there. Now, what else do we have to deal with? So we saw that our payments are higher, but let's take a look further. Our rent at the end of 36 months, you've spent $148,000. What do you have to show for it? Receipts and an empty bank account. But you've paid $24,600 on that conventional loan. That part of those payments is your money. It's going into your equity. $28,142 on the FHA loan. So this is wealth. This is gone. Nothing to show for it. Now, 13 years later, what are we looking at in net worth? Now, net worth comes about by looking at the appreciation of the property and the principal that we've paid on each of these. Well, if you had that conventional loan, your net worth is $560,000. Oh, wait a second. Net worth is 961 or 915. Here it's zero. Now, over that time period, because of the tax benefits of owning, again, consult your tax professional. You've got a $720,000 cost on the rent after 13 years. Because there are rent increases, you've got a $560,000 cost after the tax benefits on the conventional and a $610,000 cost. So you can see you're better off by almost $1 million by going into that number by looking at buying versus renting in 13 years. Now, when you rent goes up. When you buy, if you're using that 30-year fixed rate loan, that's going to go nowhere or go down because you can restructure anytime you want to. So you can see there, your net worth is far better off. Now, we've got it. I know we're running short on time. In fact, I'm probably already out of time. But let's take a look at a rent versus own chart here, John. Oh, he's ahead of me. Big decision. Here's a little help. Now, when you go to our rent versus own, rsrlinks.com/RVO, everything that I'm showing you here is in that in that model for you. rsrlinks.com/RVO. You can see all this collateral. $800,000 home, 10% down payment, 6.5 interest rate, APR of 6.875. You can see that there. Adjusted tax payment, 505. If you look, owning 128,947 versus renting 130,000, you've got a 2-year, 8-month break even. 2 years and 8 months. Now look at your equity. Oh, wait, you don't have any equity when you're renting because you're paying someone else's mortgage. 216,151. If you sell in 2 years and 8 months, you're going to have $152,000 coming back to you. So think about all those numbers because that's what you're comparing when you're looking at the rent versus own comparison. And that's why I tell you in this workshop, you got to know your numbers or else you're just spitting in the wind.